everybody. Today's video might be a little bit loud because we are on the Mediterranean coast, just sitting right by the sea, so there's sounds of life, and I thought you'd enjoy it. Today I want to talk to you about something very near and dear to my heart, the idea of self-esteem, especially as a creator or an artist or an entrepreneur or someone who constantly has to deal with getting rejected or having setbacks or getting feedback and having to look at yourself. I want to share this concept that really might change your life. So, this actually comes from my therapist, let's thank her very much, and I think it applies really beautifully to the whole art of creating a brand, being a creator, an entrepreneur, someone who ultimately has a vision inside of their head that they know they want to bring to life, but they have to meet all the obstacles of life in order to make it happen. So if you're someone who has ever outsourced your self-esteem to external validation or other people, can't relate at all, or you are someone who kind of has fluctuating self-esteem, so you can feel really solid at certain times in your life, and then other times you just feel totally wrecked and rocked, and you can't really put together the pattern. Also, can't relate at all. So what you're gonna do is imagine a tennis court, and I'm gonna pop up a graphic here so you can follow along with me. But imagine a tennis court split into 4 quadrants. So in one of the upper quadrants, you'll see it can be done, and then in the quadrant below it, you'll see I can do it. And then on the other side of the court, in the upper quadrant, you'll see it can't be done. And then underneath that, you'll see I can't do it. Now, first take a moment with me to think about the combination of it can be done, I can do it. How does that feel? Feels pretty good to me. Now think about the combination of it can't be done, I can do it. How does that feel? Not so great. Now think about it can be done, I can't do it. Also not so awesome. Now the last one, it can't be done, I can't do it. So let's rewind for a second. And what I'm gonna show you is what these different combinations of thoughts are actually creating in our body in terms of self-esteem versus a host of other crappy emotions that we might be walking around with. So the one we started with, it can be done, I can do it, that's considered healthy, solid self-esteem, confidence, feeling totally certain of yourself. And it feels really good, as we know, thinking about it can be done, I can do it, that's a great feeling. Now, it can be done, I can't do it. Now, that one is low self-esteem. That one is, oh my God, I'm the problem. I'm the reason that this can't work. It can be done, but I can't do it. Low self-esteem. Now this one, which I think is really huge for a lot of creators, it can't be done, I can do it. That one's anger, frustration, the feeling of almost like this cruel joke of like, I can do this thing, but it can't be done. That's an infuriating feeling. And then the last one, it can't be done, I can't do it, is depression, self-defeatist, complete, just, giving up. Now, this seems really basic, and obviously we kind of know the thoughts that help us feel empowered and the thoughts that help us feel disempowered, but I love this analogy so much as a creator because what my therapist told me, I think is the perfect thing to tell any creator, artist, or entrepreneur who is facing the daily experience of putting your content out or putting your offers forward, sharing your art with the world, and getting stuck in those moments where you know that you need to keep a positive mind in order to have a positive outcome, but you just struggle. So the reason that she calls this the Serena Williams is she says, imagine Serena Williams is on the court and she is playing her heart out and she's actually getting toasted by this young tennis player who's just killing her. She can't afford for a second to think, it can be done, I can't do it. She can't for a second afford to think, it can't be done, I can do it. So what does she do if she's also getting hit again and again and again and she's not necessarily in that normal strong place of it can be done, I can do it? She thinks about 3 things about herself that she knows for sure. They don't have to be things that even relate to tennis playing. It could be she makes the most incredible cookies in the world. Maybe one thing is related to tennis, like she has a mean serve, and the last one is she knows how to crack up her friends when they're feeling bad. And when she thinks about these 3 things that she knows for sure about herself, all of this certainty of who she is floods back into her body. and she can start to play the game again. She doesn't waste her energy or her mentality on trying to envision herself winning, trying to think, I can't do it, I can do it, I have to think I can. She just thinks about 3 things that she knows so solidly about herself that brings her back into that feeling of it can be done and I can do it, but without that mental battle of trying to force herself to feel optimistic when she's actually struggling. So I wanted to offer this today to any of the creators, artists, entrepreneurs out here who know what it's like in that moment when you're in the middle of sharing something, or you're playing live, or you're on a sales call, or whatever it is, and you start to feel that falter. And instead of battling with yourself, if you're getting feedback and you're in the middle of the game, or the middle of the court, or the middle of the take on set, or whatever it is, and you know you just have to keep your focus together, think of 3 things that you know for sure about yourself. It can be that you write a really good haiku, that you know how to make a really good margarita, and that you are really, really good at putting colors together. Whatever it is, just know that what your brain eats up in such a positive way about that is it just floods your body with the reassurance of you knowing who you are, even if it's totally irrelevant to the thing that you're doing in the moment. And you'll immediately end up playing the game back in that it can be done, I can do it state of mind, without having to have that battle of forcing yourself to think that way. If this is helpful for you, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you ever struggle with this stuff. I'd love to make more content about this if it feels relevant to you. I know a lot of my clients deal with imposter syndrome and perfectionism and feeling like a fraud, even though they know they're really talented. And I think that most of us are waiting for our inner critic to go away before we ever feel like we can do the thing or make the progress. And I gotta tell you, that inner critic is never gonna go anywhere. So the best thing that we can do is learn to Serena Williams it and understand that when that critic pops up, there's a way that we can just reinforce ourselves. There's a way that we can just reinforce ourselves deeply from the inside, and neurologically it'll send chemicals through our body that will help us to play that game with the confidence, even if we're getting beat to crap that day. If this resonates with you, I look forward to meeting you one-to-one. I have links down below for booking calls if you are a creator, artist, or entrepreneur, or someone who feels like you are so close, or you have just something that needs to shift out of the way in order for you to live in that next greatest, most expansive chapter of who you are. I find that more and more, even though there's lots of creative strategy and tools and resources and statistical science that we need in order to grow our brands and our businesses, a lot of it comes down to self-esteem. A lot of it comes down to having those inner resources to really self-source our confidence and our courage to show up every day in this fascinating creator economy and enjoy being in the arena even when we feel like we're getting our ass kicked. I hope you've enjoyed the sounds and the sights of the Mediterranean coast. I'll be here for a while, so you'll get more videos from here. Have a beautiful week. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.